Hi, it's Sips.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am Bonga, and you are listening to and watching
the Unintentional podcast. And today we're here with Ntobe Mafu, aka Madame Clucks Alot. Welcome to Unintentional podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So actually, Bonga mentioned you because I think he met you before, or he saw you speak before. And then I just followed up because I'm like, okay, this sounds really interesting, and I would also like to get to know, what he saw and what he experienced.
Okay, that sounds great. So what would you want to know?
Everything. Just to start us off, can you tell us a bit about who is Ntobe Mafu?
Okay, so Ntobe is a mother, a 23-year-old author and farmer based in Edendale in Tlazache. Yeah, ngintombazanyana nje ikhantela.
And I saw that you did HR. So how did you move from HR to agriculture?
So what happened was, like the whole process, I got I got a school, right, at DUT. I did a diploma in human resources management. While I was doing my diploma, though, I quickly realized that the HR industry is really congested. Yeah, well, in the sense that HR and it's offered in a lot of places. So I quickly realized also that the chances of me getting a job are very minimal. So I got a job as a cashier. There were also circumstances at home that were pushing me to get a job early. So I got a job as a cashier at Pick and Pay initially. During that time, I wrote a book and published the book. When I published the book, I used those funds to start the business. But this was while I was completing my diploma. And I was also completing an incubation program simultaneously. Eventually, what happened is that when I graduated with the qualification. I'd already started a business. So I just used the qualification on my business now.
Okay, that's interesting. And your book, what is it called again?
Letters to Whoever Needs to Hear This, Notes from Me to You.
And what is that about?
It's about building and nurturing your emotional intelligence so that you don't carry childhood trauma into adulthood.
Yeah. Okay. How did you even come up with that? Like, what was the motivation behind that?
Okay, so the motivation behind that is my life circumstance. I grew up in a GBV-based home in the sense that my dad abused my mother as well as every other woman that was ever in his life. But he was a great father to me. So there was a really big contradiction in that sense. So much so that it caused space, I guess, between myself and my mom. So she couldn't raise me. So you can see, circumstances have been rough. It hasn't been easy. I didn't have I didn't have your to-do upbringing, you know. But it was inspired by that. Then dad got sick. When he got sick, the money dried up, the woman dried up, life changed, you know. And everything that's ever happened in my family has shown me what not to do in life, you know. So the book was basically just about that. So we'd see, treat people better, you know, be a better person. In basics, but if you'd like to know more, you'll have to buy
the book. Where do we buy the book?
Directly from me now, because Adam's Booksellers closed down. They had it in store. But if you're a DUT student, the university absorbed my book, so you can get it at any DUT library.
Okay, and how did you overcome your circumstances?
Me? I don't know. Have I overcame? I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. I've just always had this thing in me, like a sense of, okay, it'll get better. You know, I think that when you are placed in a situation whereby everything is against you, you only really have two choices. It's either you'll make the situation better for yourself or you'll make it worse for yourself. Like you can choose drugs, you can choose anything, like anything in this world. There are so many options, you know. Or you could just choose to actively try and better yourself. And I just constantly actively tried to better myself. I always had something I was doing. I always had a job, always was writing something, always learning something. Self-development. I think self-development helped me.
It's very important.
Yeah.
So do you find that, you know, writing down your thoughts and things helps you to kind of release?
I can't do anything if I don't write about it, even when I'm mad.
Is it?
Yeah, I have to write it down and say how it made me feel.
Yeah.
If I have to read it to you, I'll read it to you. Like, if I care enough. If I don't care enough, I'll just burn it, and then, like, that piece of paper has burnt with you.
You let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, how did you, backtrack. How did you get into, you know, chicken and leafy greens?
My father was a farmer. He was a full-time lawyer. But during that time, he also had cows, he had sheep, he had pigs, he had a lot of imfuyo. But he was like focused more on the corporate side of things. The farming thing was just a side gig for him. So, but because he was a farmer, we as guys it was a matter of, you want inyama, okay, let's slaughter something, and then like you'll eat something. When he passed on, like there was a notable difference in the in our livelihoods in the household. That's when I realized that this thing was actually helping us, and I stepped into farming because I basically wanted to grow food for my family, because when Dad passed on, I became responsible for the household. Like, I'm the breadwinner.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm responsible for my siblings as well. So I had to have like indlela engenisa ngakhona imali. And then people started buying from us as well, started coming in drips and drabs, and then I saw it's okay, I could make money out of this.
Sorry, can we?
Okay. Sorry. So the name Madame Clucks Alot, like, how did that start? How did you come up with the name and so on? Just tell us about the idea.
Okay, so I really struggled with like I struggled with it. I thought of my son. I was like, guys, a mother's gift to her son, and like, nah, it's too long. Like, then like Sir Clucks Alot. At first it was Sir Clucks Alot because it was inspired by my son. Then I was like, nah, though. But like, hey, he'll have his own thing to do when he's older. So the Madame came through. Let's see. I wasn't always the girl that could like dress the way that she wanted. I wasn't always the girl that could look the way that she wanted or feel the way that she wanted. And Madame is like a sophisticated lady, you know. I think I'm building myself into her. Yeah. So the name was inspired by that, and then also it specifically has an E because Madame is not spelled with an E.
Yes.
It's specifically spelled with an E because it also like goes back to who I am. So the M-A is Mafu, D-A Dologam Kabane, M-E is me.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow,
so it's a sophisticated lady, but also taking me back to my roots and grounding me, just keep reminding me who I am all the time.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very interesting name because, you know, Clucks Alot, the chickens.
Yeah,
So
and the Clucks Alot is because we do a lot of things under the company. It's just not just the chickens as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Similar to like is it the hip hop presenter? Hip hop performer Sir Mix-a-Lot with that song. My anaconda don't want none. That song, yeah. So, very clever play on words. Now, in terms of, besides, you know, the business itself of growing the chickens, crops and so on, in terms of speaking engagements and reaching out to people, like, how did you get involved in that?
Honestly, DUT threw me into that. I won a writing competition at DUT. I won a tablet. The tablet I used to write my book.
Nice.
Yeah. After that, they started saying, please come motivate other students. Then I wrote the book and published the book. Then they kept on calling. They kept on calling me. These people kept on calling me. And it kind of just grew on me. And I realized that I'm actually really a really good speaker. Like I can speak to people. Also, pitching. You know, when you're constantly training to pitch for your business, constantly like training to how to use your words, etc., etc. I think that's how the public speaking just kind of came in.
Oh yes. Wait, the incubation programs, did you do those after the HR as well?
No.
Is it?
While I was completing a 3-year diploma, I was completing a 3-year incubation program, and I was writing a book, and I was a cashier. And
wow, you were a lot.
Yeah.
How did you manage to, balance your life?
I think that
times?
even now, there's so much I do all at once. I've just learned to I do what I have to when I have to do it. Like I don't believe in success.
Okay.
Because when tomorrow comes, there's something else to do, and then things pile up. I think I have a really efficient way of managing my time. Plus, I don't have anything aside from like business and home that takes up my time. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, what's interesting is that you said you started at home, and then people came to buy, and then I saw that now you also training people in your community and stuff. So I like that you kind of giving back to the community. But how has the community been, from since you started your business to now? How's that going?
They weren't always accommodating.
Yeah.
They were not always accommodating. When the business started, I had so many people steal from me.
Oh.
Yeah, I had so many issues.
Wow.
It was a lot. It was a lot, guys. But I think that the idea grew on them, and because my products are in like free range and organic, and they don't harm people, and they're readily available to them, to the direct community. I think at some point in time they realized, we have to protect this business, because it's our business. Also, the turnaround, I intentionally hire people from the area so that I'm able to win the people over, because another thing is people don't like inkomo edlayot. People don't like to support you when you're not,
helping them back. Yeah.
So I think after that I gained like a little bit of loyalty.
I think that was a very clever move, actually. And how do you think, or how do you vision the future of Madame Clucks Alot?
Kutiwa, don't count your chickens before they hatch, and don't announce plans. But I do believe that we will be like the largest global farming and training institution in Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I see, you've traveled a lot, you've won so many competitions and so many awards. How has that built you as a person?
In all honesty, every time something happens, for me, it doesn't even feel like it's happening at the time. I don't know if that makes sense. But I don't know. Well, it's built my confidence.
Yeah.
It's built my confidence, definitely. It's made me feel better about myself, because being a person who was like a teenage mom and growing up in like circumstances that I did, and being ridiculed constantly, getting that, getting recognized for my work makes me feel good. But aside from that, I can't really say what it's done. Okay, it's put me with good networks. Like I've gained great networks from attending those events, getting those awards. I appreciate that. It's made me feel good. Aside from that, I can't really say much.
Okay, and you were in Germany earlier this year.
Yes.
Why were you there, and how was your experience?
Okay, so I was in Germany to to pitch Kahle and speak about food insecurity in South Africa, to say we do have a shortage of food. This is my solution. Please grant me this much money so that I'm able to grow the business, etc., etc. And yeah, my experience was really great. I didn't get the money then. I didn't get it then. I cried my eyes out. I was just so devastated. However, I did get a follow-up call from someone a few weeks later, and things started happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it doesn't happen the way that you think, but it happens, and, that's great. You sell from home or?
Yes, I sell from home. I have a site. We have a coop up on site. We have a training room. We have a pack house, and indigenous chicken coop as well. We also have tunnels for our crops. Yeah.
Oh wow! So you've really developed your land, hey?
Yeah. But I need larger land.
Yes, of course, growth.
Yeah.
And then, how do people, actually get your products?
They can find us everywhere on social media. It's Madame Clucks Alot, TikTok, Facebook, everywhere. You can find us everywhere.
Okay, but do they order and then you deliver, or do they have to come and fetch it themselves?
It's up to them. If you'd like us to deliver to you, we do. If you'd like to come on site, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give aspiring, people who want to go into agriculture and things,
I would tell them to not go into agriculture because they think it has money. It does not. It will chow your money. It will chow your money. And also go into it with intention, It's so sad to see the number of lives lost in this day and age due to the food that we're eating, We're not eating the correct food, and that's because we're not knowledgeable about what is the correct food. So for me, if you're farming, really sustainability is a thing, and sustainability is the future, and you really should consider just going into farming with the intention of giving people the right food, not meeting your profit margin at the end of the month,
Okay.
Yeah, because a good name sort of sells you after all. Like if you're ethical in your practices of business, or you I guess good to your customers, they will come back, and that will get you returns as well. Sounds idealistic in a way, but it's much better off than being sued.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I want to go back to your travels as well. Like, what was had you ever left the country before being invited to the opportunities that you've traveled for your business and speaking engagements?
The first time that I ever left the country to speak about food insecurity was last year in Thailand. I went to Thailand, Bangkok, at the Asia World Model United Nations. Yes. I had to stand in front of like a very large crowd and let's see, not speak for the first time, but it was the first time like in that setting. And in that setting, I was one of two like Africans in the room.
Wow.
There were I don't know, over like 1,000 and something people, but I was only one of two Africans that had been invited to the thing. And yeah, I gained a lot of confidence through going through that, because Futi, like it was the first time as well.
It's a big deal. It
was, and it was really nice. It was really successful, but I also learned a lot, because usually when in South Africa, I'm usually the youngest in the room, and not to be like, not to be cocky or proud or anything. I'm usually the youngest, and I'm usually the smartest in the room. In Thailand, it wasn't like that, my guy. No. There were people younger than me. There were people smarter than me. There were people more prepared than me. I realized that you can't take Ugutsi Ngagini Uyashisa and then take it to other places. You'll get there and find bombs. Yeah.
That must have been a valuable experience as well, like to help you up your game as well, where you are. And also you're involved in training others, and hopefully they will also pick up on that as well. In terms of culture shock, if any, did you experience any like major differences between South Africa and the countries that you've traveled to, and what was some of like the major standouts of?
Okay, first and foremost, every other country is so safe. it is ridiculously safe.
Yeah.
You can leave your phone anyway. You'll find it there,
There.
even 3 hours after.
Wow.
You understand?
Wow.
And I'm thinking to myself, is this a scam? Like,
Yeah.
it is ridiculously safe in other countries. Secondly, people don't never let
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't apply only in South Africa. People don't like English everywhere. I don't know, but English is a universal language.
Yeah.
But like people, they would rather uthi ngilahlekile, like no, uthi I'm lost. They will pass
Wow.
you. They will
Wow.
pass you.
Sure.
I experienced that both in Germany and in Thailand.
Oh, wow.
In Thailand, I was like, I was in exhibition center. Me and Njenge presence. Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
constant. Can I touch your hair?
Oh, wow.
They
Wow.
do like touching our
his
hair.
hands, all right.
Oh, yes.
And at that time, it's a son or boy. Yeah. They wanted me to take it off and sell it to them. Like,
Oh,
some
no
cousin of
way.
mine, guys.
Yo. Dude.
Wow.
Yeah, those were major culture shocks. The safety, more especially in Germany. In Germany is so safe. It is so safe.
I went
Even
there
kids,
too, like a
kids-
couple of years back, but yeah,
Kids are walking themselves.
and it's clean.
Yo, as well. Yeah, the cleanliness. The cleanliness. Like people take care of themselves out
They
here.
do.
They care about themselves. About manenda banabo. Akufana la, where people just don't care. You're just doing things for vibes, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things that you've carried with you from the countries you've traveled to into either your business or into your personal life?
Keeping spaces clean. Also, I am trying to really actively like involve my language in izinto engizenzayo. In Germany, we went to the Mercedes-Benz Museum in Lapaya. Everything is written in their language, in German.
Wow.
You get to us, sipalit, no entry.
Yeah.
Again.
Again.
Yes.
You know, it's things like that. So I'm trying to implement that in our posters, you know, also in the way that I speak when I am speaking to certain target. We do with the training more especially.
Yeah.
If we're like in a corporate setting, then fine, I'll speak English. But if we are in the rural areas, then I will speak in a language that they will understand, so that they actually gain that knowledge, and it's not just for show, you know, because a lot of things are for show in this day and age.
That's true. And you sort of alienate people if they're not of a particular background, like what we would term your Model C background, and you speak to them in English. It's like you alienating them. Like, try and speak their language. Not try, speak their language, and actually so that they can relate to you as well. So that's really powerful, actually.
And I'm also implementing that like in things that I do as well. It's easier to connect with people when you know their language. Like I'm trying to learn other South African languages as well. Yabo, ngiyabulela, yabo, ngiyathetha, yini was Sotho.
Wabua.
Yeah, ngiyabua here and there. Hanyani fell. Jane, I try and accommodate people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then in terms of your food experience overseas, how was that?
I have to recover from Thailand. I have to recover.
Yeah.
That the food thing there, I can't really understand it. Hey, like kono sweetie la, it's salty kona la. Everything is going on all at the same time. Like I didn't like the food in Thailand.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at all. I had a national dish that I liked. That was it. I've forgotten the name now. That was the only food that I liked in Thailand. I think I was best friends with Burger King.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. In Germany, no. Ooh, they have nice food.
They do.
Ooh, they have such nice food. I wish I could go back just for that food. And it's healthy too. Like they're very conscious of what they are feeding
they
people.
Really are.
They are conscious of what they're feeding people. Oh, sorry. Can I go back to a culture shock?
Yes.
Thailand, they don't have surnames.
What?
They don't
No,
have
that is a
surnames.
shock.
Like you're just Ubonga. You're just Sips. I'm just
Wow.
Dobego. If Bonga's your brother, you can marry Bonga.
Okay.
Like you're just people.
Oh yeah, because of surnames.
You're just
like,
there's no
wow.
surnames, there's no clans, there's no
Wow.
That is a shock. I
That
mean, and then
is
good
a
luck getting
shock.
someone to explain that to you. Well, they probably could, and it would make sense to them, but
It didn't make sense to me. They tried. It
Sure.
did not make sense. It
Wow.
doesn't make sense. Like, like,
that's another thing as well, because tracing your history
yeah,
as well.
like, who's your grandfather?
My goodness. Like now I have to wonder about their archives department and their historians and stuff.
I
Like how do
really
you
don't
maintain
know.
your history?
I really
Yo,
Your
don't
family
know.
tree, like.
yeah,
I met some people who didn't have surnames. Yeah.
super interesting.
And then in terms of franchising or maybe expanding into like our supermarkets here, how do you feel about that?
Expanding into supermarkets is a good and bad thing. It's good for the brand because like it creates brand visibility in the sense that you guys will also trust me more now when I'm in Spa. But it's bad for my business because they will then tell me how much they want to pay
T's
me
and C's.
for my produce, and I know how much I spent on producing. Also, it's they are selling to the same community I'm targeting, Jay, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Why is it hard for the community to trust my brand aside from it being in Spa or
Yes.
being in a large supermarket? So I'm working towards compliance, etc., not necessarily with the aim of getting into supermarkets though, but just so that I ensure that I'm serving people ethically produced food and the correct food. For now, if I see the need, like if I'm struggling with in terms of trying to get clients, then maybe we can consider that. Or maybe when you want to like sell at tons level but for now, for me, this works. Yeah.
And I think also there would be that element of now you have pressure to like produce so much more than you already are. And for me it was just what has been your most affirming moment in your business journey to say now I feel like
I'm the one. I feel like you get a lot of those. I call them glimmers, I get a lot of glimmers, when you feel like, yo, I'm my future self right now. I've had a lot of those. I can't really pinpoint to one and say this was my most affirmative. But, with the glimmers, there comes a lot of gloom as well sometimes where you're feeling like it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Because business is a lot. The reality of business is that if I had to pinpoint it to one moment, let me think. No, when I went like overseas alone and came back unharmed and having done what I went to do, I think that was the beginning of a lot of things. But although that like they had already began, but like it was unlocking a whole new level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. And then your family, how have they been, since you started your business and the way it's going now?
I'm grateful and I'm lucky that I have a very supportive family structure. My brother Ungongo is everything to me, because he became our father when Dad passed on. I live with my siblings. Most of them, like my siblings, are great people. But like your family, there's direct family, then there's like I explained, my relationship with my mom is shaky. I love her though. Like she's still my mom. I love her. That's it. I just love my mom. I don't want to go too much into it. Then with like other family members, people suffer from entitlement and then they act like they've been here all your life when really they haven't.
Because now you like made it and stuff and they want to just be
even when they are just still thinking that you've made it, even when you haven't made it. When they see someone come and buy a chicken, hey, I was saying I need drinking, Like one chicken. It was one chicken. Coke. Well, it's things like that. There's entitlement. The people change. Family changes. Again, I was written off by most family members when I got pregnant. You understand?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, people are now changing vibes, being extra nice, etc., etc. It's hard to deal with because I feel like I see through a lot of things, but we smile and laugh because futhi ngimncane and I respect my elders. Yeah. Apologies.
It's all good.
Let me put it on silent.
Okay.
Sorry for that. At least I was done with the sentence.
Oh yes.
Okay. I still mine. Only back silent. Okay.
I'd like to go back to your experience in Thailand and Germany. But in terms of the networks you built as well, like have you carried any of those relationships through to this day? And what's, if you can share, of course, like what's on your respective agendas, well, for you and your business, and then for your colleagues that you've met overseas? I
know someone who I believe will be the next president, of his country in Thailand. We've kept in touch. We've also kept in touch with another lady. The names thing is a challenge. It's a challenge, but she bought my book.
Nice.
She posted it on Instagram. Then her mom and her mom's community all followed me, and then they posted so she was having a bit of emotional things going on between herself and her mom. And in the book, remember when I said that my family has shown me everything that I don't want to do in life?
Yes.
So I've written about what a preferred relationship between a mother and a girl child would be. So she was having issues with her mom, and then her mom said to me that the book helped them fix their stuff. So that was really nice as well. I still have everyone's number that I took. People are doing amazing things out here. People are doing amazing things out here. Big things. Kids are doing big things in other countries. In terms of Germany, I have a whole community. The Be Visionaires community as a whole is my network, and those people are still carrying me through till today. There were fellows from Germany, Canada, all around the world. We are all connected. We are all still in touch, and I can safely say that I found people that think like me, talk like me, and understand me. Yeah,
that's amazing, actually. And I just also want to highlight the power of social media, keeping in contact with all of these people that you've met, and just keeping the relationships going.
The world is so much smaller as a result of that.
It really is. And then in terms of your community here, is there anyone you look up to, or are you working with, or you just like to mention them that they're doing something worthwhile here?
I feel like there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of worthwhile things in PMB. Unomandla Ngoya is someone that I can directly point out and say, I look up to this person. I grew up around her in the sense that I would go to the same church as her, or used to.
Okay.
Yeah. The way that she's blossomed and the way that she has grown into such a lovely young woman doing it,
What does she do?
It inspires me. She's the founder of DChem Group. So she makes chemicals.
Interesting thing,
Yeah, she makes sunlight. She also has a new thing out for abantu abahlushwa impandla. Yeah, so she helps you grow that back for men.
Why are you looking at me?
You're not suffering though, Bonga.
Yes. Yeah, you never know. I never know when I might need that. So
yeah. So her, but also the Facebook community of PMB guys, like the Facebook business people of PMB. Wandi Swamkize really has helped Peter Maritzburg come together through
Okay.
her initiative of Business Plug, because most people you find there, you
Yeah.
know. Aside from that, also Maps Christian, umzala wam, he's my
I
mzala.
don't know him.
He's doing amazing work in terms of promoting people in PNB as well. Nje, there's
Yeah,
too many
lots,
people.
yeah.
Like, I'm sorry if I didn't mention you. Tanda, Chomi, Nje. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's Peter Marsberg for you in terms of like, it's not to say it's surprising, right? It's a well, let's be honest. I once heard a comment on a podcast, Joburg guy saying that no, Peter Marisburg is a city you drive through to get to Durban. So there's not really much really to look forward to there besides our fancy schools or whatever, and that's it, you know. But I was listening to you mention the various, you know, influential people in the community here in business, in the social media space and so on. That's encouraging. I mean, even the guests that we've had on the podcast, let's be honest, you know, it shows that there's a wide variety of people doing different things here in Peter Marisburg. And that's not to say, of course, you should limit yourself here to residing here and doing your thing here. But the fact that we do have an economy of various activities, whether it's entertainment, business, social media, and so on, it's quite inspiring as well. So, yeah, I really enjoyed actually listening to that and mentioning specific people as well, like names, surnames, that people who exist and people that we can look up on the internet. That's for our listeners, of course, you know. So yeah, that's quite encouraging.
And it's also like funny that you should say the first lady that you said, because our previous guest also mentioned her.
Really?
Yes, she was also such an inspiration for her. And then for me, you know, how do you overcome challenges, or what keeps you going and motivated?
Apart from the fact that life didn't really give me an option, apart from that, it's also my will to want to become better. Like, I want to be a better person. Even when I'm one person, like, who takes accountability for everything. Even if I make a mistake, I will say, okay, I made a mistake. How can I do it better? Like, I want to be better. I want that in the depths of my soul. I want to be a better woman. I want to be a better mom. I want to be a better sister, a better presence for the world at large. Not even just for me. Just to be a better person so that other people can benefit from my existence. You know,
that's beautiful.
All right, yeah. Well, I think that's all on my side as far as questions are concerned. See, it didn't hurt. Wasn't that bad? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So thank you so much for coming to the podcast. It means a lot to us, and sharing your story and everything. So all the best as well for your business, and we will support you. Right. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you very much.
And with that, that's a wrap. Remember to follow us and keep watching at Unintentional Podcast on all social media platforms, and stay safe.